Hi, my name is Istvan Bujdoso, and in this video I'm going to explain to you what's the difference among programming language, code, library, framework, and CMS. The programming language, sometimes referred as development language, it's kind of like the English language in life. It stands from words, phrases, expressions, and rules. The words, phrases, expressions by themselves, they have a meaning, and the rules explains how you can combine these things together to create something meaningful. Just to give you a few examples, PHP, Java, C#, JavaScript, etc. These are programming languages in the web development industry. The code, just to jump to the code, it's something meaningful built up using the words, phrases, expressions, rules of a programming language, and it creates a result. It's kind of like the directions part of an English recipe in life. If you look at it, these directions, it stands from words, different phrases, different expressions. These words, phrases, expressions were combined together based on the rules of the English language, and it's created something meaningful that we can read and understand. And if you think about it, it creates a result. If the cook follows these directions, at the end, it's gonna get a result. It's gonna get a delicious food. The code is kind of like this. It creates the code is basically something meaningful based on words, phrases, expressions, rules of the programming language, and it creates a result. The library is something that does one well-defined thing, and it does it well. It's kind of like an ice cream spoon in life. It does one well-defined thing, it makes a scoop, and it does it really well. And it's not good for anything else. You can't drill a hole with an ice cream spoon. Neither it cuts paper with it. It just does one well-defined thing. It makes scoop, and it does it well. The library is kind of like that, one well-defined thing, and it does it well. So to give you an example that is closer to web development area, for example, library A sends emails, and it only sends emails. It only does this one well-defined thing, and it does it well, and it doesn't do anything else. Or like library B, it handles online payment. This is the one well-defined thing that it does, and it does it well, and it's not good for anything else, just for handling online payments. The framework is a set of building blocks, and the developers decide what they build from these blocks. It's kind of like a box of Lego in life, that the blocks are there. It's kind of like a half-ready set. It's half-ready as it's a set of building blocks, and the developers decide what they want to build from these blocks. They can build a house, they can build a pyramid, they can build a boat, a car. It's really up to the developers what they create from these building blocks. Another important thing about frameworks, it's a half-ready thing. The developers have to build a system based on the framework, and the end user can use that system. By itself, the framework, it's not usable for end users. The developers have to build a system, and the end users can use that system. Examples from the web development industry, based on the same framework, the developers can build an online shop, a social media portal, or an accounting system, complete with different systems. They can use the same framework to do this. Just a few examples for frameworks. Laravel is based on the PHP programming language. Hibernate is based on Java, and ASP.NET is based on the Microsoft Word, not the Microsoft Word, the Microsoft products and systems. CMS is a content management system, basically a short form of content management system. It's a system that is ready for the end user to use without the developer, to manage content, manage pages, informational pages, blog posts, images. If you remember, the framework was something that is half ready, and the framework needed a developer to create a system, and the user could use the system. While the CMS, in case of the CMS, it's already ready. The users can use it without the developer to manage content, pages, blog posts, images. The developers come to the picture when the system needs to be extended. So the developers need to add features that originally are not in the CMS. For example, content management systems, by default, they can't handle online payments. So if someone wants to add online payments handling, then they need a developer to add this extra feature to the content management system. It's kind of like this situation in life, that the owner has this house, they have kitchens, rooms, bathrooms, they have everything that they need to live in. They don't need a developer to basically to live in that house. They can live in there. But if they want to add something extra to the house, they want to add a pool, then they need a developer. An example from the web development world: WordPress is a content management system, the most popular content management system in the world. This is how the programming language, code, library, framework, and CMS are connected to each other. Basically, the programming language is a fundamental element of this world. The developers can use the programming language, and they can write a code using the programming language. And the developers can use this code that they created, or different kind of codes that they are created. They can create a library from those codes, or they can create a framework from those codes, or they can create a content management system. When do developers use these things that we talked about? In case of CMS, they can use it for creating, for example, a news portal. If you think about it, a news portal needs informational pages, articles, blog posts. They need to handle images. And the content management system from out of the box already do these things. So it's a great fundamental for a news portal. And developers like to choose this because it saves time, saves money for the project, because CMS already contains a lot of things, a lot of features that a news portal needs. And developers don't need to create that. The frameworks are used in case of someone wants to have a system that is not about managing content, that is more like a custom bespoke system, for example, an accounting system. In case of an accounting system, people don't need features like creating articles, creating informational pages, blog posts, managing images. These features are not needed in accounting systems. So in this case, developers tend to build upon frameworks, because if you remember, frameworks are basically building blocks. So it's a half-ready system, and that's using that half-ready system, the framework. It can save time and money to build up a custom accounting system. And the last one, library. For example, a library, if you remember, it does one thing and it does it well. For example, handling online payments. If the developers needs to add this functionality to content management system or framework, they can just simply include a library and use that library. Because handling online payments is usually not something that is included in content management systems or frameworks. So it's a library. Library is really useful for developers. It also saves time and money because they don't need to create that code to handle online payment. They just simply use an existing library to save time and money, and they just include it into a CMS or a framework if needed. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and see you in the next one.